A historic theater here in southeastern Wisconsin gets a major facelift and is about to reopen to the public.
A world-renowned artist headed back to his hometown of West Bend to work on this project.
Corrine Zell shows us how it is all coming together.
The work has been going on for almost a year now. The crew on this project is trying to restore what they can while making some upgrades that wouldn't have been possible back in the 20s when the theater first came to life.
If you take a drive on Main Street in downtown West Bend, you can't miss this bright sign outside the historic West Bend Theater.
It was built in 1929 as a performance house.
The sign hasn't been lit for a show in years, but soon the theater will give an encore.
We're restoring it to its original state with some modern upgrades.
Performances stopped in the 30s and the space turned into a movie house before closing in 2006. The board president says there's been a couple attempts to bring in crowds since then, but there's never been one like this.
We are putting a state-of-the-art sound system in, a state-of-the-art movie system. The acoustics have been calculated. We're putting in apparatuses that will allow us to host some national events.
A bar, better concessions, and new bathrooms also on the list.
When you look at, what theaters can do to smaller towns like West Bend, I think there's many examples across the country where they've been successful.
A big part of this project happening up here, 30 feet above the seats.
I'm applying kind of a slight glaze to this surface.
Chuck Dwyer lives in the Milwaukee area, but was born and raised in West Bend.
Do you remember this theater?
I vaguely remember it coming here in grade school.
Chuck paints and draws for a living. His work can be found around the world.
We have ultramarine, we have cerulean, we have manganese.
He also works for a restoration company, and that's what brings him home.
Mainly, we were here to conserve what was existing, so we wanted to keep the history of this theater from 1927.
It's all about the detail.
These tones that I have here are to establish this range, right? And this blue range in here.
A canvas unlike any other, even for an experienced artist.
There's a little bit of pressure. I mean, and a lot of it is keeping the integrity of the original artist's work.
Mixing the old with the new.
We call it a world-class experience venue. We're putting all the modern amenities in here that are going to allow us to do that for decades to come.
The project cost around $4 million. The money is a combination of local donors, tax credits, and grant money. The theater is set to reopen March 14th. Corrine Zell, today's TMJ4.